Okay, so let's start. I want to show you how to use the toolbox I just developed. So let's go to the folder where I have it installed, toolbox. Here you have a nice executable, so you don't have to run the Python script manually if you don't know how to. So you just wait a few seconds, it's a little bit heavy, but should work all automatically. There we go. Let's close the rest. So yeah, welcome. That's the new toolbox for behavioral experiments. Here you have a few buttons you can use if you want. Let's start a very quick experiment. When I type in the pigeon name or the subject name I'm going to use for this experiment and the name of the experimenter, the first thing that happens, a little pop-up asking, are you sure this is the subject you're using? A few infos and the ID about of the subject. You can check it. Yeah, it's a dummy trial, so I'm going to say it is that subject. Here you have a short history. What did the subject do last? What is coming up now? You can obviously choose the trial you want to do yourself, but let's take OK, the automatically selected trial. Here is some information about how to set up your experiment. So it says before starting, please adjust the following things. Remember to start recording and so on. I start. Then it says, please place your subject in the starting area for habituation. And when you start the trial, the countdown goes down and then the trial starts automatically. I'm going to show you how it works. It's like 5 seconds. And after 5 seconds, I have a choice of yellow and blue. I'm going to go for yellow. Oh, that was a very short, so obviously yellow is not the optimal choice. If I choose blue, then I have some time for packing. Alright, trial finished. It was a rather short trial. Let's try something. If we go to the experimental protocol, here you have a short description of what protocol or what experiment was loaded. And here you have the short abstract of my experiment right now. Here you have a picture of the setup. So this is the habituation chamber. Here the pigeon starts navigating. It reaches the end zone, and here you have the choice for the food. And the coolest thing is you can edit it from in here. You can just edit. Too often now. But you can edit here the experimental config file. So the first thing I want to do is change the color. So navy and yellow were obviously no good colors. I'm gonna use green and red for the bad choice. I want to have some more repetitions. So for example, 5. And for the habituation time, let's relax a little bit. I want to have 15 seconds before starting the trial. And for the optimal reward time, I want to have here the 3 seconds feeding time, and here, let's say an entire second, even for the bad choice. Let's save the file, close it. Close here, let's close here, let's close here. Let's go back to our GUI and the graphic user interface. After editing, we go back to our experiment. Same subject. Yes, that's it. We start. We set it up how it's supposed to be set up. We start the experiment, start the trial. And now we see it's green and red. Red is the wrong one, but yet you have 1 second feeding time. Green is the correct one. You have up to 3 seconds feeding time. You have several repetitions. And now the trial is finished. Okay, next part I want to show you is the subject database. Here you will have a short database where you can check your pigeons, mostly to check if the correct label matches the pigeon you're holding. And maybe at the beginning, maybe a little bit easier to learn their IDs, so you can just check that they are exactly the pigeons they are. Progress, the experiment has not yet started, so there is no progress to report, but when there is, here will be a little bit of a progress about the entire experiment, how many conditions you have completed, the percentage of the experiment. And on the right hand side there will be a little bit information about each subject and how many trials or sessions the subject has completed, and how many of the subjects reach criterion for passing to the next condition, and so on. You can also edit this config file. This is the metadata, so that will be the metadata, but the experiment is empty obviously by now, but here it will be recording after every experiment what happened, and will be recorded just to keep track of the progress. If you have any questions, want to get in touch, you can contact me. Just drop me an email, drop me a message here, and you will get a reply soon. If you want to check it up in GitHub, you have the repository. Is not 100% ready yet, but you have an installation file where I just explain every step I took for installing the Raspberry Pi to be able to use everything I use, every package, and then you just have to download my program, start quickly, and get started with the experiment.